your students pass the exam, not students like the context of the student. So I'd like for you to open up any query or anything that you feel like asking. This is the time, this is the opportunity. Prabhu, be prepared. This is going to be a very good session. Guys, yeah, what can I say? I can't compare them with any other guys. The question that they usually bring up, we might have like one question of discussion a whole month or two. So you need to be prepared. So I'd love to pass it to the floor. Then at the end of the session, we have our guests. So this is the opportunity. So today we are going with time. We come out of that. That's the case. So the floor is yours. Any query that you have as a student, or what's the purpose of a student? Actually, let me start with that. What's the purpose of a student?
Yes. So, first of all, thank you for inviting me. My name is Madana-gopāla. I live in New Jersey, in the US. I was a college student once also. I have a master's degree in mining engineering and bachelor's degree in geology. And I work in IT now. For the last 25 years I've been working in IT, digital industry. But I'm also studying the philosophies and thinking about this point of purpose. Does life automatically have a purpose? Let's just ask that basic question. Because if somebody asks you, what is your purpose? You can ask back, what do you mean, what is your purpose? Do I have to have a purpose? Who is to say I have to have a purpose? Isn't it? We can question that, first of all. If you question anything else. Why do you assume that I should have a purpose? See, because you want to come to the point of that life has a purpose requires a great deal of thought. Why do we exist? This is a bigger question of life. If you come down, okay, I find myself as a student. My parents told me I have to study. My teachers tell me I have to study, get good grades. My peers are studying very hard. And I'm noticing that those who study hard, they are successful in life. And by success, I mean they go out in the world, they become influential, they gain a great amount of power or wealth or contacts. But is that really success? So perhaps we should ask ourselves, if life is to have a purpose, what should that purpose be? So, in a very simple sense, the purpose you can say can be, I just want to be happy. Basically, I want to be happy in life. I want to feel a sense of satisfaction, a sense of accomplishment, a sense of maybe something higher like helping others. You know, something more than being selfish. Because that makes me happy. So if you say the purpose of my life is to be happy and perhaps help my fellow human beings achieve some degree of satisfaction and happiness in life, there is a good purpose to that. Very general, generic purpose. Now that could be through accumulation of wealth, through acquisition of power and influence, or any number of things like that. Or just satisfaction of knowledge, knowing many, many things. When we are knowledgeable, that in itself comes with a lot of satisfaction. So, when we think of purpose, we think about our nature. What is my nature? What is natural? Generally, we want to have a purpose that comes naturally to us. Now, according to philosophy, especially the Vedic philosophy, we all have two natures. There's a higher nature and lower nature. Both are nature, both are natural. You know, for example, it is natural to want to just sleep or to party, or to just eat unhealthy foods. It's very natural because we feel the drive to do it. You know, to just not be disciplined. It's natural. To such a person, discipline seems unnatural. So that is called the lower nature. Then there is something called the higher nature, where a person is naturally disciplined. They plan. They ignore the immediate impulses for a higher, longer term goal. That is called following higher nature. Even animals have this, by the way. It's not just humans. Animals also have lower and higher nature. If you want to accomplish something long term, then you have to be disciplined. You look at a leopard. If it just runs like that, it will not catch it. It has to be disciplined. Hide very slowly. This is discipline. It takes discipline to do it right. Anything. There is a higher nature. So we can question, what is the higher goal of life? You see? So if we ask the higher and higher goals, what makes something higher, makes something lower, then we are talking the right track of what is purpose. So maybe you can use that as a setup, preliminary. I want to be happy, but I also want to follow nature. Because you will be happiest when you are living naturally, acting naturally. But I am also aware that there is a lower nature and a higher nature. So how can I move toward the higher nature so I'll find genuine deep happiness? While avoiding the lower nature, knowing that both are nature. And when I find genuine deep happiness, I'll be able to share with others the happiness. What that means, we have to explore as students. Student doesn't just mean you get good grades, you get a good job, good money, and then you get stuck in this cycle of eat, sleep, and entertainment. And then go back to eat, sleep, and entertainment. We all get stuck in that loop because making some money, depending on how much money you make, the quality of your eat, sleep, entertainment will vary, but it's the same thing. Is that really the goal of life? Let's question that. Those are higher thoughts, higher nature, they will question that basic paradigm. So let us discuss this point. Is there something higher? As students, this is the opportunity. What is my duty? Okay, it's my duty to study and learn everything, whatever I'm studying. But as a student, this is the opportunity to indulge the seeker in us. All of us are seekers. Seeker means we want to know a little bit more. This is a chance. Why? Because you're already in the mode of learning. You're in the mode of seeking. So take the opportunity when you have the momentum to learn things. Especially when you learn from those who have acquired wisdom in their old age and they've seen the world. And they tell you, oh, I regret this, I regret that, I would have been happy if I did this. If we get those realizations of older people, but while we're still in the younger bodies, then we get a little edge. That is why we are institutions of learning. We learn from the wise, we learn from traditions of wisdom, and we see how we can apply it in our lives so that we can find a sense of happiness, a sense of purpose, a sense of satisfaction. Is that okay? I want to open it up now. Anybody wants to discuss? There's a lot of buzzwords I threw out, so let's see.
Yes, sir. Okay, pass.
The last point, you mentioned we want to rise above us and we learn from traditions. Well, I think as students, let's say university setup, a normal life setup, mostly the guys who are above us don't really know what they're doing. They learn to pass to teachers and then we learn to pass to teach others, but there's nothing they're doing. And also, when we talk about the traditions, I really don't think that in a place that we can say we have traditions that people don't have friends that. Now, how do we do that? Do we just continue with the system because the other way of doing it may be expensive or unavailable or will be looked down for how much we do?
The question is about traditions.
Yeah.
Because even traditions by themselves don't hold much value unless you understand the purpose of the tradition. You see, so then we have to evaluate every tradition for the purpose. For example, if the tradition of an accountant is just do accounting, there's the wise people, there's the wise in accounting. But what is their purpose? Just to count money. That doesn't seem to have much intrinsic value. So we have to evaluate the traditions on their values. See? You know what I'm saying? Like you're questioning the tradition too. So we have to be in the market to shop. We have to be intelligent shoppers. Is that tradition going to give you satisfaction and happiness in life? Are the people living that tradition actually happy? So that's what you have to question. So suppose you want to question a particular tradition of living a certain lifestyle. Tradition of living a lifestyle of self-indulgence. No, this is not tradition I want to follow. Because this is, just because something is traditional means been done for a long time by many generations doesn't mean it's good. You see, that's the thing. So just because it comes back to the natures. The reason why I said it's a higher and lower nature is you evaluate the tradition based on the nature. Just because something is natural doesn't mean it's good for me. You can say it's natural. Just because a tradition is old, it follows the nature of human, you have to evaluate, is it following a higher nature or lower nature? Okay, how do I know what is higher and lower? That's where the rubber meets the road. Higher nature is selflessness. Higher nature is service to others. Higher nature is finding everlasting peace. Higher nature means equality, seeing everybody with equality, not that you treat different people differently. These are all aspects of higher nature. And any tradition that emphasizes these principles, selflessness, service, equality, these are traditions that have something in common. These are traditions that have in common spirituality. All spiritual traditions emphasize these things. You'll see, isn't it? So that is why spirituality is held in very high regard, because it overrides the lower natures and it emphasizes the higher nature. Both are natural, remember? And the more we resonate with the higher nature, the more happy we will feel. And that happiness will not be dependent on lower things like selfishness. Because selfishness also gives us happiness. But that happiness is very hollow. You want solid happiness, you become selfless. And that is reposed in spirituality. And spirituality is reposed in the most important thing for existence, which is God. And it doesn't matter which tradition you come from, all the major traditions of spirituality emphasize these points. Be selfless. Serve others. Do good unto others. Do unto others as you do to yourself. These spiritual principles are universal, independent of the label of religion that you come from. It's like they're called principles of religion. You'll find them across continents, across traditions, across languages, but the same principle. So that will give you a clue. This is where happiness is found despite the ups and downs of life. Can I find a connection with God? Can I find a philosophy that satisfies my thirst for a higher connection while still continuing the duties of a student? It doesn't conflict with the duties of a student, because everything we're learning in this technical university can be contributive factor to the higher goals. Are we together? It will be a supportive factor for the higher goals of life. But if we only do the supportive and we don't know the goal, then we'll be lost. Then we'll grow old and we'll not. Yeah, where was that? Yes.
Like but say we usually do for happiness and divided two natures. Divided nature. You have the lower nature and you have the upper nature. And if I'm right, the lower nature is the normal one. Easy, making, defending. But coming to think about it, we always chase after happiness. When you get this, I want this. Then we start with the lower nature. So we usually like, I want to eat better. So today I eat, let's say a $1 meal. Tomorrow I say, well, I want a $200 meal, or I get some basic rice. Tomorrow I want something else, So we usually want to eat better, and we never satisfy. So each and every time I get something, I need more. When defending, I want to sleep in a house that has a fence, has everything, has some security wires, has a watchman. We always want to defend better. I want to have very nice, I want to have just one wife. Like usually see that happiness. It's never satisfying.
In many ways will make you more or less happy, so don't worry. But yeah, I get your point.
We usually look for that happiness. We usually chase after that happiness. And then if I think about the higher natures, also at some point that we usually seek for more. For example, if I take an example of service, it's like a clear logic that the more people you serve, the powerful you become. But at first I might be engaged in the service of serving people, but later I see that I'm serving some more guys, and then I become really for power. There's always something that hinders us from getting that satisfaction. So is there a point, now the question is there a point of, let's say the limit, or something that you can do to satisfy the grasp? You don't want more, you want less, and satisfy it. Because if I'm trying to do these things, I always want more, I always want more. The satisfaction is never there.
Very good question. I like the question because now this question, it creates a clear contrast between the two natures. The higher nature and lower nature. You can say the selfish nature and the selfless nature. You can say, let's just say. Or the materialistic nature and the spiritualistic nature. In the material nature, or the selfish nature, or the lower nature, there is satiation, but there is no satisfaction. In the higher nature, the selfless nature, the spiritual nature, there is satisfaction, but there is no satiation. It's a contrast, complete difference. Let me explain. Okay.